Welcome to the Entrepreneur Sushi Club podcast. I'm your host, Lubna, and I am flying solo today. The Entrepreneur Sushi Club podcast, as you know, if you have listened to previous episode, is a weekly podcast where we give you insight into the personality of successful sushi adoring entrepreneurs, showing you that success is all about having fun in and with your business without the hustle and the grinding, because who wants to work hard nowadays? And boy, do I have an amazing guest for you lined up today. I have the amazing Paul Fabulous, and his superpower is love. Now, you know that that's a story we want to dig into. His life experience and success have not always been so fabulous, however. 20 years as a vocal coach, helping singers find their authentic voice, he has helped many people create breakthroughs, but did not fully realize that love was all that was behind it. But people were transforming. Ever had the experience of people transforming right before your eyes? And more people started to hire Paul and referring their friends and family to Paul for life and relationship coaching. Yet still, Paul did not have the full understanding that love was all that was behind that, their inner transformations. Then he had his own love breakthrough and saw that that was the magic source and his superpower. Paul, welcome to the show.
Welcome. Hello. Hi, Lubna. Hello, everyone. All you sushi lovers, wonderful people. Hello.
Oh, we love a little bit light and fun endings. As you can see, with this going to be a high energy podcast, how can it be when someone's superpower is love, which is a high frequency state and emotion, whatever you want to call it? So, Paul, let us start with one of the most important questions of the podcast.
Yeah.
Are you ready?
Okay. Sushi.
Of course. What's your favorite sushi and why?
Well, I'll tell you, it's, I don't know if sushi lovers would call this legit, but for me, it was, I was off the coast of Newfoundland in Canada, and I was right on the coast. The fishermen were bringing this fresh tuna right out of the water. So I was given this tuna. The vibration, Lubna, was so high. It just melted in my mouth. I didn't have time for wasabi or ginger or nori or rice. It was heaven.
Ooh.
Heaven. I felt the spirit of this, the energy of the fish and the water, and it's so pristine. And it was a love experience. I call it my naked sushi experience.
Awesome. So that sounds like, I don't even know if we would actually call that tuna sashimi.
Yeah.
It basically was tuna sashimi. Yeah, it basically is tuna sashimi fresh out of the water.
Minutes out of the water.
Yeah, well, to be fair, I would call that sushi. I would still call that sushi because it's raw fish. So yeah, no, you're still a sushi adoring entrepreneur, Paul.
Oh no, and I eat regular sushi too often, so I love it.
But why specifically why specifically tuna sashimi? Why do you love that so much?
Well, this experience of it, the tuna, I don't know, the vibration of tuna is wonderful. Salmon is awesome. Tuna, well, it's tuned in to high vibration. You know, I can tune a piano, but I can't tune a fish because tuna is already tuned to this high vibration. This high vibration. That's what I feel. It's well, everything is energy.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is energy, and everything is in a feeling of it. So something about the tuna.
Well, I love it. I love it. It sounds like a match made in heaven.
Yeah. What's your favorite sushi?
Oh gosh. I've got a couple of favorites. I can't choose one. So the California roll is still my favorite. It's a starter sushi, but it's the first sushi that I've ever had. So it's still the one thing that I always order when I go to having sushi, which I've
Yeah.
done this past week twice, as the Netherlands is opening up. But I'm a tuna lover myself, so I tend the second sushi that I order is sushi with tuna, and whether that is tuna sashimi or a tuna roll or a
Yeah.
tuna hand roll, as long as there is tuna in there. And I do want there to be raw tuna in there, so not any baked, seared, or whatever tuna, because I
Yeah.
just love that. I love that taste more than I love the salmon sashimi taste, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
It's a proper fish to eat.
I'm with you.
Okay, cool. Well,
I'm with you.
we've got two tuna lovers. I love that,
We're
Paul.
we're we're in tune. We're in tune. We're singing the divine frequency of tuna.
I'm not going to join you in singing. That is not my superpower. Let's jump to question number 2 of our podcast. If your personality, were a sushi, what would that sushi be and why those ingredients specifically? Now, you can choose an existing sushi or you can build your own sushi.
Mhm. Well, the way I really love it is assemble it yourself.
Yeah.
So I've got the nori there, the rice is there, the not the soy sauce, but the tamari is
Mm-hmm.
there, and you can leave the wasabi. So I'm just
Okay.
gonna grab the. So I'm gonna make it each time. It's gonna be different. It's gonna be creative. I'm gonna
Cool.
pick up the nori. I'm gonna scoop up some of this brown rice. Um, that's already saturated
Oh,
and
what? Why the brown rice? What does it represent in your personality?
more fullness, more wholeness.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. I want the complete experience of me. I want the complete experience of the food. Like when I'm
Okay.
with somebody, I want the complete experience of you without the filters, wonderful, the full human expression, the heart, everything. So
Wow.
the brown rice has more
Yeah.
of the rice and
Cool.
maybe some mango or something, but just those the core and feel it on my fingers for more connection, and
Okay.
then
So the
just let it.
mango stands for connection.
Well, the mango is kind of optional. The
Okay.
other ingredients, just feeling it on my fingers, I'm feeling
Okay.
connected with the nori and the rice and the
Okay.
tuna probably, and the others will come and go. But this
Okay.
feeling of it and just melting on my mouth, melting in my mouth, melting in my mouth. It's a good feeling.
Yeah, I get that. And what
Yeah.
does it tell us about your personality? I mean, are you a high energy person? Are you a bubbly person? Or are you more introverted or extroverted? Are you more chaotic or organized? Tell us a little bit about that.
I would say introverted, like most performers are. I came out. That's why I like holding the microphone because takes me back to my I want to be a rock star days, and I really did
Yeah.
want to be a rock star, being introverted. But on
Yeah.
stage, I just couldn't wait to get back to connecting to somebody. So introverted, but these days, like I'm 54, Lubna, and I wasn't always connected.
Yeah.
I was very mental, thinking my way through. At the end of the day, lots of thoughts, but not a lot of heart. Some moments of heart, but
Yeah.
these days it's become about connection and love. And I'm not there all day, but I'm
Yeah.
sure there a lot more of the day, and
Yeah.
more of my interactions are from this embodied heart space. And that's really important to me. So that's who
Yeah.
I've become. I was born that way, but it took me 50 years to get back to that more
Yeah.
and more. And
Yeah.
still an ongoing, beautiful, wonderful exploration.
Awesome, awesome. And what else can you share about your personality? For today, I mean, I'm just to be very clear, I'm not someone who believes that your personality is fixed.
Yeah, yeah.
So you can change during your lifetime. It's not like this is how you were born. And it was for a very long time that in the psychology, psychologists believe that you have a fixed personality we can describe, and there are different models and formulas to describe it. But what I have learned through my own personal experience is you can shift. You can shift during your life. It could be because you choose to do so, or you have experienced a life altering moment that has really shifted your personality. Because I used to be an introvert. I used to love being completely on my own. But many, many years later, I discovered that I'm more of an ambivert, which is a combination of an introvert and extrovert. So I love being around people, but I also love being alone. And I have different situations where I'd rather be alone and quiet, and I have situations where I love to be loud and talky and process through connecting with other people. But I'm also chaotic. I'm not detail oriented in any way, shape, or form. I like to do different things, and I like to have a lot of things around me. That's one of the things that I think that California roll is still one of my favorites, because it's a combination of different ingredients, and that variety is something that juices me up. So, how about you, Paul?
I love what you said.
Thank you.
That in this moment I can decide who I'm going to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. You reminded me of something that really changed me,
Yeah.
um, and this helped me become present. I used to go sit in the woods or looking at the sky or the
Yeah.
trees
Yeah.
for hours, just seeing what would come up without doing
Yeah.
anything, no phone, nothing. And I was going crazy. I had the heebie-jeebies. I wanted to jump out of my skin. Sometimes I couldn't sit for more than a few minutes without going bonkers.
Yeah.
And then over weeks and months, I really stayed with it. And then I'd be staying for like days, going off in the trees with the trees and just sitting and being, letting all the heebie-jeebies come out and go through. And then what happened is that I got to be present,
Yeah.
and I got to be present with somebody else. So I was
Mm.
teaching, just doing vocal coaching at that time. I was only doing vocal coaching, and I was with people, but this connection was profound.
Yeah.
And you reminded me in your question of you know a place I love to be is that in that presence. And I
Yeah.
think everyone listening, if you went back to moments that are most fulfilling,
Yeah.
I bet it's that when you're really just clear and open and present with somebody, a potential client or a customer in your business or your
Yeah.
family or your partner, just really clear and open and just being with them,
Yeah. Yeah.
just
That.
no words
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah. No, I totally resonate with that. And I think that is an important message to emphasize and highlight is, in today's world where everything needs to be fast, 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 busy, 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 doing, 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 we tend to miss some of those profound moments. We tend to miss those meaningful moments. And it could be in the quietness, or it could be in the connection with other people. Um but yeah, no, absolutely. It's just to slow down and hit the pause button for, even if it's just 10 minutes, and just be with your thoughts and whatever sensation, bodily sensation you might have in that moment in time. And a lot of people are scared of that because they don't know what their brain is going to produce as thoughts, and they don't want to connect to that. But it's so powerful because you want to be in charge of your brain. You don't want your brain to be the one that is driving the bus or the car or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, I love that. I love that because, like, like imagining somebody listening right
Yeah.
now or watching, and you're thinking, what do I have to get done today to hit my goals for my
Yeah.
business? And then we
Yeah.
could be so busy getting the goal that we're missing this divine inspiration of saying, wait a sec, Josie needs to hear from you today.
Yeah.
But and she's ready to bring out her checkbook, and she needs your help, and she's got 3 other people to refer you to.
Yeah.
But meanwhile, we're so busy hitting the goal, we miss that voice of the heart, of intuition, of spirit.
Yeah.
So this slowing down is the best thing I can do for my business. Slow down into that moment and let that inner
Yeah.
guidance, that genius come through.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. I mean, I really love that, and I'm a big advocate of having more people to slow down and really reflect and reset. And in that sense, the past 18 months have been a great outside, um, what's the word I'm looking for? Reminder of the importance of doing that. So, Paul, another question that we'd love to tap into a little bit more is, how long ago did you discover your passion, or maybe I should use the word love for sushi, naked sushi in your case?
This was probably um, maybe 20 years ago.
Hmm. Okay.
Yep,
And what
yep.
happened 20 years ago that you made the shift to, I'm going to try sushi?
Well, it was this um I think I had sushi before, but it was really this tuna experience right in Newfoundland that was a game changer for me.
And what made it a game changer?
The freshness of um the the sea and the essence of this beautiful fish.
Were you alone in that experience? Did you experience it alone, or were you with other people?
I was traveling on my own. I was doing some
Mm.
work with a company, traveling around different places in Canada, little places in Canada. So I got to see the country, and I was with a fisherman who
Yeah.
said he had. I said, "What do you guys here? Have some. What are you guys doing here? Have some." And yeah, I just
Yeah, no, I totally get it. The reason I'm asking is because the majority of the guests that we've had on our podcast usually get introduced to sushi through other people, whether they're family members or friends. And their first experience is in a place where they try a starter sushi, so anything that doesn't require raw fish, like a California roll,
right.
before they jump into, okay, let me try something with raw fish in it, just a little piece. But most of them are like, that's raw fish. How can you be eating raw fish? So I love that you shared an experience of the raw fish experience right out of the water.
When it's really really fresh, it doesn't even. There's no smell of fish. It's like this feeling of
Yeah.
fish is from not fresh, but when
Yeah.
it's so fresh and pure,
Yeah.
the sushi grade or even pre-sushi grade when it's just out of the water, it's
Yeah.
heavenly.
Yeah, no, I totally get it. And after all of these years eating sushi, I can really taste the difference between fresh fish being used and not even through the smell, because as soon as it smells, you're on the wrong side of the fish. But the taste is different. The taste is different. So yeah, I totally agree with that. So let's go to
Wrong
the
side of the
last.
fish. That was funny.
I know. I don't know where that came from. We're go with the flow, ladies and gentlemen. Everything
That's a
that comes out of
classic.
my mouth is recorded and not edited out in any way, shape, or form. This is
Oh,
who I am, the
that's a
good, the
keeper.
bad, and the ugly.
That's a keeper.
Cool, cool, cool. So let's go to the last segment of our time together, Paul.
Okay.
And that is, you got me curious because as I read your introduction, I read that you're a vocal coach, which is a great way to help people reconnect with their voice and even find their voice, to be able to use it. And I know that you've worked with singers, but you also say, my superpower is love, and that you discovered later that behind transformation is love, and that should be more in the forefront. Can you share with our listeners how that connection came to be?
So yeah. Thank you. So, um, I love that because that takes us right into the essence of what's helpful.
Yeah.
Because whether I'm vocal coaching somebody, helping them with find their authentic, wonderful, natural voice, or
Yeah.
a single person or someone that's in a relationship that wants to transform their experience of relationship, or work in their life to be happier, more successful. When I at the core of all that work, all those transformations is a shift into myself.
Mm.
So when I want to shift, I come back home to Paul. I clear out what's a resistance or something that's in the way. And when the resistance is gone, when the thought's out of the way or the fear, what's left? Love. And then when I tap into love, when I'm with somebody and they're tapping into this natural love that's in them,
Yeah.
they automatically transform. The mind shifts, limitations drop away, fears drop away, resistance drops away. They're all of a sudden secure. I'm secure. I'm ultimately secure when I'm feeling love. I'm secure in my universe. I'm home. I'm home. I'm home. When I feel love, I'm immediately home. I'm
Mm.
home. And when I'm feeling that way, um, it's like I'm supercharged. It's like I'm connected to everything. Um, today's already fulfilled.
Mm.
And I just want to share what I can do with somebody. So we're all the same. Beneath
Yeah.
all these thoughts is this essence, which is love. So love is I have a method, a 3-step method that takes us into love
Mm.
more quickly, more easily, so that love becomes this primary vibration. So every day is fulfilling right off the bat.
Yeah. Oh, that's beautiful. I read Dr. David Hawkins's book, and in that book, he shares that love is a high frequency vibration. So, for those of you, this is going to get a little bit spiritual, but it's actually scientific. It's quantum
Yeah,
physics,
yeah,
which a lot of people don't realize it. And it's higher frequency than happiness, which most people associate very easily. So, for the let's imagine that right now a busy, overwhelmed, frustrated entrepreneur who's thinking, oh, I'm just surviving my day to day and I have a to do list a mile long. I don't know how am I going to get it done. To share with them that the only thing you need to do is to connect to love, I can imagine that being a very big jump. What are some specific tips for someone in that state
yeah.
who wants to start that journey towards the higher frequency that is love?
So this is an amazing question. This was a game changer for me, and it is for when people do this. It's a game changer because love is a scientific. There's a ladder going up the ladder of these emotions and experiences into the highest, which is love.
Yeah.
But there's a scientific approach. There's a systematic approach to get there, and there's ways to get in there easily. So here's for someone that's maybe not connected with love, like I was for most of my life, most of the 50 years.
Yeah.
Okay, can I take people through an exercise that really simple?
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Okay,
Do whatever will work for our listeners. Yes.
okay, okay. So, okay. Think of a place where you feel love. The first one that comes to mind, it could be when you first held your newborn child, a place, your favorite tree, or where you watch the sunset, or um, you're riding your bike for the first time, or with somebody, a place or one event, one place in your mind and memory where you felt love. And if you can't feel love, joy. And think of that place and let it flood your body. Okay, so now you're in love. It was already there. You just had to go in there in your mind. So this love is already there. So stay there a minute. Just feel that love, and you're in that place. See the word love. Okay, so now think of some situation in your life. What are you working on in your business? Oh, I got to help this new client. Oh, great. Or I want this new client. Okay, so go back to your love place. Okay, you're riding your bike. You're holding your newborn. Feel that love. You're embodying it now. Feel it go through your toes. Now think of your new client. Okay, now go back to love. Feel that in your body. We're in training your neural pathways to link up love with your client. So now your client is actually feeling this behind the scenes, whether you believe it or not. They, when I think of somebody, hey, what a wonderful hat, they feel good about themselves. They don't know why. That's scientifically, it's a energy thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you are in love right now. Think of that place. And the more you do that, and the more you link it up to things in your life, what you're creating, the more I do that, the more I'm embodying love. And Lubna, I do this daily, and I do, in the weeks and the months, and it's amazing. It's an exponential growth. It just, I become this person of love. And
Yeah.
I don't even think of the place, and I just see somebody and just feel love.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
No,
that
I could.
simple.
Yeah, no, I love that you shared it because from neuroscience, we know that we can learn our whole life. There used to be a period of time in the past where where collectively we believe that up to a certain age you can learn, and then everything that you learned up to that pay, that's it. That's what you had to deal with the rest of your life. Fortunately, neuroscience has taught us that we have something called neuroplasticity. So for those of you that want the scientific, our brain has neuroplasticity, which means that we can keep learning all of our lives until our deathbed. So if you keep practicing something that you miss, that you miss in your life, you feel lacking, adopting these practices and then becoming a habit, because that's what we want with things like love and joy and happiness, or the high vibration emotional states, is we can turn them into habit. And as soon as it's a habit, and you've heard Paul already, and now I understand why your superpower is love, is it becomes automatic. You don't have to think about it. It doesn't require a lot of effort. Your brain already knows, okay, if I see that or I've experienced that, that is connected to the meaning love. So the exercise that Paul just shared with us is a brilliant way to remind your brain, because that is all that you did in this exercise. What does love feel like? What does it feel like? And how can I connect it to a different event so that my brain connects finding a client, dealing with a different client, maybe dealing with a difficult spouse or a difficult friend, or you're avoiding a conflict. It's connecting those things so that you can show up from a place of love. Is that, have I listened to you correctly to be able to say the right thing?
I'm listening to you and I'm learning. I love it. You have a beautiful way to hear and to feedback. You're wonderful, I would say, storyteller, but a weaver of insights. It's beautiful how you do that.
Oh, thank you so very much. Paul, what's some of the things that you want to leave our
Can
listeners with
I share
as
a
we wrap up?
story? Can I share a quick story?
Oh, yes, of course.
So this came as soon when you were talking. You said, "Oh my gosh, this," and I got this nudge that it would be so helpful to hear,
Yes.
just to give people hope of what's possible. You know, for each listener. For I'm speaking to the listener right now, and to your heart, because you're thinking, well, what's possible for me? I would love to have this so much possible for me in my life. But what is possible? Well, let me tell you an example. I have a client. We've been working together for 12 weeks. She'd never been in a long term successful relationship, never with someone who really felt, oh my gosh, this is such a fit, never with someone who says, oh, I just feel so adored. And she's in her 50s. 12 weeks later, she's now with someone who's completely adoring her. She feels
Mm,
so loved. Her resistances to being in a wonderful relationship have melted away. And it's through this method of connecting with love. So she walks down the pathway in the park. She's radiating love, and men were coming out of the woodwork. Good, wonderful men, and she's just vibrating from this. And this happened in 12 weeks, and now she's
mm,
creating this wonderful partnership that she never thought she could have had. So this can be you in your business, in your
yeah.
relationship, with the way you're communicating with your beautiful audience, whatever your business is. there's so much possible when you tap into what's true about you. I thank you for letting me share that story. I really wanted this to be sinking in and given. So thank
Yeah.
you.
Oh, thank you for sharing your wisdom and experience with us, Paul. I think that that's absolutely brilliant. So, if you are listening to this and you're thinking, I do lack something, whether that's in your business or in your personal life, something that you're trying to achieve, trying to connect, think of it, flip your thoughts into how can I attract that into me? And that the way to do that is we have learned from Paul is to connect to higher frequency, and the highest you can connect to is love. And you have experienced love in your life before. There is many memories already in your brain stored that you can reconnect with it. And if you want to go back and listen to the exercise that Paul guided us through to be able to do that, then rewind this episode and go back, maybe even listen to it a couple of times so that your brain get used to listening to that process, and then do it unconsciously or intentionally, and just commit to yourself to be doing this. Paul, thank you so very much for joining us. It's been an absolute pleasure and honor to have you. And
Thank
as a
you.
last connect, if people have listened to this episode maybe once, maybe multiple times, and they
Mm.
are thinking, I would love to connect with Paul, how can they do that?
I have a download that's a scientific method, a very simple audio using my voice to create an inner shift into love to transform the areas of your life. So it's myfabulousrelationship.com/super for the super
Awesome.
manual. And
Awesome.
and you can email me if you like, Paul at myfabulousrelationship.com. Any questions about anything we talked about, sushi or love.
Cool. Paul will make sure that we add those links to the description that goes with this episode. And now back to you. Thank you so very much for taking the time to listen to another episode of the Entrepreneur Sushi Club podcast. I do hope that you have found this valuable. Is there anything you would like to share, Paul?
Yeah, anyone that's listening that likes this wonderful high vibration, um, if you're so lucky to have a conversation with Lubna,
Oh, bless you.
because imagine you feel this wonderful vibration in your world, what can happen in your life and in your business? So I think it's worth pointing to that possibility.
Oh, thank you so very much. That is so kind. That's kind of you to do that. And yes, absolutely. Reach out if you want some high energy, high vibration in your life. Happy to provide that for you. So, as you have listened to this episode, we would love to know what has been your biggest insight or takeaway from the conversation with Paul. It's important to re-emphasize what you have learned, whether that's one thing or multiple things, and we would love to know what that is. So do take a moment and share it with us in our community called the Entrepreneur Sushi Club on Facebook. We'll make sure that we
Yes.
add the link to our community in the description with this episode. And if you know someone who can benefit from this conversation, please do share this episode and the podcast with them. And if you are an entrepreneur or a business owner who likes or loves sushi and would love to be our next guest on the podcast, feel free to reach out. We're always looking to connect with other sushi adoring entrepreneurs. For now, have an amazing day wherever you are. And remember, connect to love. See you on the next one. Paul, thank you.
Thank you so much. So nice to meet you today and to be with you.